Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News. I'm Tracy Shilchi and here are today's headlines. It's the third ceasefire violation in 3 days. Pakistani Rangers troops opened fire along the LOC in Rajouri district. Firing is still on. Massive cyber attack hits 99 countries. Britain's healthcare service hit. Spain's biggest telecommunications firm reels under ransomware infection. Supreme Court calls triple talaq most undesirable form of dissolving marriages. Chief Justice compares the practice to capital punishment. Election Commission throws a challenge to political parties to prove EVMs can be manipulated, assures VVPAT machines will be used in future polls. And Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart and Divya Kakran win silver medals in individual categories at the Asian Wrestling Championship. There has been yet another ceasefire violation by Pakistani troops along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. The firing took place in Rajouri district and the Indian Army has retaliated sharply to it. Remember, this is the third ceasefire violation along the Indo-Pak border in Jammu and Kashmir in the past 3 days. According to the army, Pakistani army initiated indiscriminate firing of small arms, automatics, 82mm and 120mm mortars from 7:15 in the morning along the LOC in Nowshera sector. There was a ceasefire violation along the international border in Arnia's area of Jammu district in which a BSF Jawan was injured yesterday. And on the 10th of May and 11th, Pakistani troops resorted to mortar shelling and firing of automatic weapons on civilian areas near the LOC in Jammu and Kashmir, killing a woman and injuring 2 people, including the husband of the deceased lady. 2 Pakistani soldiers were injured in retaliation by the Indian side. Well, in this latest incident, of course, the firing is still on. We'll get you more details as we get them. Meanwhile, the top international story: and a massive cyber attack on Friday targeted a number of organizations across Europe, including Britain's state-run health service and Spain's biggest telecommunications firm. There has been reports of infections from Italy, Portugal, Russia and Ukraine among 99 countries. Computer systems were infected by cyber criminals with malicious software called ransomware, which locks up computers and demands a ransom to restore access. It wasn't clear as yet if the attacks were all connected, but a cybersecurity researcher tweeted that he had detected 36,000 instances of the ransomware called WannaCry and variants of that name. Spain's government said that a large number of companies, including telecommunications giant Telefonica, had been attacked. The ransomware in Spain was a version of the WannaCry virus, which encrypts sensitive user data. In Britain, hospitals were forced to turn away patients and cancel appointments after the nationwide cyber attack crippled some computer systems of the state-run National Health Service.
Well, we're aware that a number of NHS organisations have reported that they have suffered from a ransomware attack. This was not targeted at the NHS. It's an international attack and a number of countries and organisations have been affected. The National Cyber Security Centre is working closely with NHS Digital to ensure that they support the organisations concerned and that they protect patient safety. And we're not aware of any evidence that patient data has been compromised.
Now to national news. An all-party meeting was convened by the Election Commission to discuss the reliability of EVMs in Delhi on Friday. The Commission sought views of political parties to the proposed challenge that it plans to hack its EVMs. The poll panel said that it will offer political parties an opportunity to prove that electronic voting machines used in the recent assembly polls were tampered with. All the 7 national and 48 state-recognized political parties attended the meeting. The Aam Aadmi Party claimed that its proposal of holding a hackathon was rejected by the Commission.
The Election Commission on Friday convened a meeting of political parties to discuss the issue of electronic voting machines and other electoral reforms. Leaders of all 7 national and 48 state-recognized parties participated in the meeting, which saw a debate over the definition of hacking.
All the future elections will be mandatorily held with VVPAT. And the Commission has also taken into account that the VVPAT slips of electronic voting machine up to a definite percentage, which will be determined by the Commission, will also be subjected to counting, and the Election Commission of India will evolve an appropriate framework in this regard.
The Aam Aadmi Party, which has been leading the opposition charge on EVM hacking, claimed its proposal of holding a hackathon has been rejected by the Commission.
इलेक्शन कमीशन ने कहा है कि नहीं, हम हैकेथन शब्द से ही सहमत नहीं है, हम हैकेथन कॉन्सेप्ट से ही सहमत नहीं है। हमारी मशीन में तो नेटवर्क होता ही नहीं, तो हैकेथन का तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं है, और एक अलग तरीके के अपने कंट्रोल्ड एनवायरनमेंट में एक चैलेंज कराना चाहते हैं। मुझे लगता है कि ये तरीका ठीक नहीं है।
A detailed presentation on security features of EVMs was also made by the EC to prove that the machines were tamper-proof. The poll panel also said that it was highly likely that 2019 Lok Sabha elections would take place in the VVPAT format. 16 opposition parties had recently told the Commission that it should revert to the paper ballot system, claiming that the faith of the people in the machines has eroded.
4-5 अलग-अलग विषयों पर चर्चा हुआ। उसमें चुनावों में जिस प्रकार की ब्राइबरी होती है उसको लेकर है, और चुनाव में जो चंदा दिया जाता है उसको लेकर है, और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन को लेकर। शुरुआत में ही इलेक्शन कमीशन ने कहा कि आगे जो भी चुनाव होंगे वो पेपर ट्रेल के जरिए होंगे।
This is the starting point. They have assured us that VVPAT is going to be there in every election now. The next general election of states which are going to take place will all be through EVM VVPAT. But again, EVM VVPAT means with these 3 additions which we are saying: transparency, verifiability and authenticity.
ये जो टेक्निकल जो व्यवस्थाएं हैं, जो इंतजामात है, ये चुनाव आयोग के तहत है। हम बोल रहे हैं ये पूरे प्रक्रिया को जो निगरानी में, मतलब स्वतंत्र जो संस्थाएं हैं, स्वतंत्र जो इलेक्शन कमीशन के अधीन नहीं है, ऐसे टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट्स को भी उसको छानबीन करने का कोई जगह होना चाहिए।
We are strongly demanding that the old system, ballot papers, should be introduced again. And regarding bribery and other issues, we have said that state funding is the only issue to resolve all these cases.
VVPAT अगर हो, ट्रांसपेरेंट सिस्टम हो, तो VVPAT should not be a problem. उससे 100% समझ में आएगा कि किनको वोट दिया है। लेकिन उसमें भी ये बात है कि जिसको वो काउंटर फॉइल मिलती है या जो दिखाई देता है वीवीपैट मशीन पे, वो उनके पास एक काउंटर फॉइल मिलनी चाहिए।
गवर्नमेंट मस्ट कम फॉरवर्ड टू स्पेंड द मनी फॉर द इलेक्शन कैंपेन, एंड आल्सो that way even ordinary persons, independent members or even small parties can contest the election. Therefore, that has to be taken.
The EC also offered political parties the chance to prove that EVMs used in recent polls were tampered with. Days before the meet, the Aam Aadmi Party had staged a demonstration on hacking voting machines in the Delhi Assembly. The EC had trashed the claim, saying the machine was a look-alike and not an actual EVM. The poll panel intends to use VVPAT units attached with EVMs in the coming elections for greater transparency. The Union Cabinet had given its nod to sanctioned funds of nearly 3,200 crore rupees to procure more than 16 lakh VVPATs as sought by the EC. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Continuing its hearing on the practice of triple talaq, the Supreme Court on Friday called it the worst and most undesirable form of dissolution of marriages among Muslims. Chief Justice of India, J.S. Kher, who is heading the 5-judge bench, compared the practice to capital punishment. Former Union Minister and senior advocate Salman Khurshid, who is assisting the court as amicus curiae, told the bench that it was not an issue where judicial scrutiny was required. He also said that women had the right to say no to triple talaq by stipulating a condition to this effect in the nikahnama. The court also was informed that countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Morocco and Saudi Arabia do not allow triple talaq as a form to dissolve marriages. Several Muslim women have challenged the practice, saying that it was discriminatory against gender justice and dignity of women. The Apex Court began hearing on the issue on Thursday, where it said that it will first examine whether the practice of triple talaq was fundamental to Islam.
जो एक समय में 3 तलाक देने की प्रथा है, क्या वो उचित है या अनुचित है कानूनी तौर पे, इस पर इसके विभिन्न जो पहलू थे उस पर आज चर्चा हुई और मैंने बताने का ये प्रयास किया कि ट्रिपल तलाक का कोई औचित्य नहीं बनता है और क्यों नहीं बनता है उसके सारे उदाहरण और उसके जितने भी जो भी उसके विषय थे वो सब मैंने कोर्ट के सामने रखे।
मेरा ये मानना है कि 3 तलाक और बहुविवाह और हलाला ये पूरी तरीके से महिलाओं का सम्मान का मामला है, ये महिलाओं की डिग्निटी का मामला है, इसलिए सभी राज्य सरकारों को आके सुप्रीम कोर्ट में रिटर्न में बताना चाहिए वो इसके समर्थन में है या विरोध में है।
The Delhi High Court on Friday upheld a lower court order on income tax proceedings against Young India Limited in the National Herald case. Young India had approached the High Court seeking a direction to stay the IT proceedings and quashing of notices against it. The court asked the company to approach the income tax assessing officer, after which the firm withdrew its petition.
Young India, a company where Congress President Sonia Gandhi and Vice President Rahul Gandhi are stakeholders, will be investigated by income tax officials. The Delhi High Court upheld a lower court order declining to stay the income tax proceedings against Young India Limited in the National Herald case.
Today, the Congress party had filed a writ petition in the Delhi High Court. Let me make it clear that the learned division bench of the Delhi High Court has given full liberty to the petitioner, not the Congress but the Young Indian company, to raise all the objections raised in the writ petition before the assessing officer, including most importantly the objection regarding absence of reason to believe to reopen the assessment. The order was passed and consequently, I repeat consequently, we withdrew our petition with that liberty to raise all those objections before the assessing officer. We will now await the assessing officer's decision in accordance with law, and in those proceedings we'll be raising all the objections raised today in the writ.
At the heart of the case is Associated Journals Limited, the publisher of 3 newspapers including the National Herald that was founded and edited by Jawaharlal Nehru before he became India's first Prime Minister. In 2000, the company shut down with an alleged unpaid debt of about $15 million. Sonia and Rahul Gandhi are accused of setting up Young India Company to buy the debt using Congress party funds, even though Associated Journals allegedly had real estate assets worth at least $335 million, which would have cleared the debt.
It's a culmination of my complaint, which was given in July 2014. And in my main matter, I said that by fraud, cheating, conspiracy, criminal breach of trust, they acquired this National Herald Company, Associated Journals Limited. But the fact that they said that they gave loans to National Herald for running the paper was from Congress party funds. Now that was a violation of the income tax law, because income tax law says you can use the funds only for political purposes, not for commercial purposes.
In January 2016, the Gandhis won an appeal to be exempted from personal appearances in court. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has wrapped up his 2-day visit to Sri Lanka. Participating in the Vesak Day celebrations, he spoke of shared heritage of Buddhism between the two neighbours. He also announced starting direct flights between Varanasi and Colombo. Later in the day, he inaugurated a multi-speciality hospital and addressed the Indian origin Tamil community in Dikoya, where he called for celebrations over the diversity between the Sinhalese-speaking population and the Tamil-speaking people in Sri Lanka.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Colombo, participating in the International Vesak Day celebrations, the biggest festival of Buddhists. Vesak marks the birth, enlightenment and the passing of the Buddha. It was officially recognized by the United Nations in 1999. Modi, who was the chief guest at the festival, was received at the Bandara Naike Memorial International Conference Hall by Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe amid traditional fanfare. Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena was also present. In his address, Modi re-emphasized the traditional Buddhist connect between the two neighbors, adding that Buddhism's message of peace could be a guiding force during these violent times.
Menace of terrorism in our region is a clear manifestation of this destructive emotion. I firmly believe that Buddhism's message of peace is the answer to growing arc of violence all over the world.
Modi said India and Sri Lanka will strengthen ties in trade and economy and also cooperate in various fields including transport, energy, agriculture, education, health and power.
Free flow of trade, investment, technology and ideas across our borders will be to our mutual benefit. India's rapid growth can bring dividends of the entire region, especially in Sri Lanka.
The Prime Minister also announced direct flights between Colombo and Varanasi from August this year.
This will ease travel to the land of Buddha for my brothers and sisters from Sri Lanka and help you directly visit Srivasti, Kushinagar, Sankasa, Koshambi and Sarnath.
After the Vesak Day celebrations, Prime Minister inaugurated 150 crore rupees super speciality hospital at Dikoya. The hospital has been built with Indian assistance. Prime Minister Modi also later addressed the Indian origin Tamil community at Dikoya. Invoking MGR and Muthaiya Muralidharan in his address, Prime Minister Modi congratulated the Tamil community for their hard work and said that Sri Lanka has benefited from it.
We need to strengthen, not separate these threads of unity and harmony. And you are perhaps best placed to lead such efforts and make your contribution.
Prime Minister Modi's visit follows an invitation from President Sirisena aimed at reinforcing the traditional connect between India and Sri Lanka. This is Modi's second bilateral visit to the country in 2 years. He last visited the island nation in March 2015. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
With that, a quick break here. We'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Ghata, one of the oldest and most unique percussion instruments of southern India. You can play it not only with your fingers, but palms, wrists and heels as well. You'll be surprised, but the air inside the ghatam reverberates, creating the musical notes. 5 elements of nature, earth, water, air, fire and space make up the composition of this beautiful musical piece, which has found an apt place in most of the ancient books.
Welcome back. In more national news, Haryana has rejected Punjab government's claims that the two neighbouring states had agreed to find a solution to the contentious Satluj-Yamuna link through talks. Within hours of Punjab government's claims of a dialogue with Haryana with the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh's intervention, a Haryana government release called it misleading and incorrect. Haryana Agriculture Minister O.P. Dhankar said that Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar had made it clear both in writing and in speech that there was no question of dialogue since the Supreme Court judgment is final and Haryana's execution petition is listed for hearing in July. Addressing Friday's North Zonal Council meeting, Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh had pushed for a solution to the SYL dispute through consensus, while calling for coordination by the states concerned to ensure optimal utilization of river waters based on internationally accepted riparian principles. The Supreme Court is hearing the SYL matter as the Punjab government refused to implement its verdict to allow SYL canal construction to share river waters with Haryana. Heatwave conditions are prevailing in many parts of the country. Sweltering weather conditions continue to affect normal life in parts of Delhi, Odisha, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. On Friday, the mercury soared to settle at 41 degrees Celsius in Delhi. The Met Office has forecast overcast conditions for today. The sunstroke toll in Odisha mounted to 4 on Friday, with a man succumbing in Angul district. In Rajasthan, Barmer recorded the hottest temperature at 44.6 degrees, followed by 43.9 in Kota. The maximum temperature in Punjab and Haryana hovered above normal levels at most places. Chandigarh recorded a high of 40.5 degrees, while Patiala had a hot day at 41.2 degrees Celsius. With that, let's take you through some more updates from across the country in Nationwide. The Madras High Court has asked the state government to follow the Supreme Court order to close down liquor shops within 500 meters of the state and national highways in letter and spirit. A vacation bench gave the observation that multiplying liquor shops in the state will not only general damage to the public health but also trigger disorderliness in poor families. The Border Security Force seized a Pakistani fishing boat from the Babewari Creek in Kutch district on the Indo-Pak border. 4 fishermen jumped off the boat and ran towards the Pakistani side of the border near Sir Creek after noticing the BSF patrol party. A search is on to catch them, officials have said. B. Jayapanda has been removed from the post of spokesperson of the BJD parliamentary party by the party president and Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik. In another move, Barchana MLA Amar Satpathy has been appointed as the chief whip of the ruling BJD and has been given a cabinet rank. International news: in China's President Xi Jinping will host almost 30 world leaders in Beijing on Sunday at the first One Belt, One Road Forum. More than 100 countries have signed up, showing the demand for global economic cooperation despite rising protectionism in the US and Europe. China has managed to rope in the United States at the last minute for its Silk Road Summit, besides South Korea, the EU nations and Japan, leaving India to be the only major country yet to confirm its participation in the high-profile event. India is likely to be represented by local embassy staff or academics this weekend in Beijing. However, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Gopal Bagli said that no decision had been taken on whether an Indian government delegation would attend the meeting. India's main objection to China's plans to build ports, railways and power links across Asia and onto Europe is that the $57 billion China-Pakistan economic corridor, a key part of the plan, runs through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
我们一直在说，一带一路倡议是一个开放包容的倡议，我们也欢迎各方都来参与一带一路国际合作高峰论坛。根据我掌握的情况，美国总统特别助理
I'm really proud of the way that China looks at Croatia as a partner. There is this discrepancy in the size and the number of population, but nevertheless, what is really good to feel is not only on the part of the Chinese government, the concept of sovereign equality of states, but really the friendship on the part of the government and on the part of the people that they feel towards Croatia.
Meanwhile, media reports from Pakistan are saying that the country may not accept the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice in the Kulbhushan Jadhav case. The ICJ had stayed the execution of Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav, who was sentenced to death by a military court in Pakistan. Media reports say that Attorney General of Pakistan was on Friday briefed on Jadhav's case, and it was stated that Pakistan does not accept the International Court's jurisdiction to order the state of Pakistan on issues that involve its national stability. India, in its appeal to the ICJ, has accused Pakistan of violating the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations. India maintains that Jadhav was kidnapped from Iran, where he was involved in business activities after retiring from the Indian Navy. However, Pakistan claims that he was arrested from Balochistan and is an alleged Indian spy. Staying with Pakistan, at least 25 people were killed and several injured after a blast targeted the Senate Deputy Chairman's convoy in Balochistan province. The blast took place shortly after the Friday prayers in Mastung area, about 50 kilometers from Balochistan's provincial capital, Quetta. Abdul Ghafoor Haidari escaped the attack with light wounds. However, his driver and another aide in the same vehicle were killed. At least 37 people who received serious wounds from the blast were transferred to Quetta. The Islamic State militants have claimed responsibility in a statement released on its website, saying that the attack had been carried out using a suicide bomber. Haidari is a member of the right-wing Jamaat Ulema-e-Islam Fazl and has been a senator since 2008. Most of the people killed were workers of the party. Now to the US, where President Donald Trump has said that his spokesperson should not be expected to speak accurately about his positions and the goings-on within his administration because he is a very active president. With a number of tweets, Trump also threatened to cancel press briefings and be replaced with written statements for the sake of accuracy. His comments came after the media questioned the administration's shifting narrative on the firing of James Comey as FBI director. Trump's description of his decision to sack Comey contradicted the versions provided earlier by White House officials, exposing their explanations as misleading. Meanwhile, Trump has also warned sacked FBI chief Comey not to leak details of their conversations to the media, suggesting that perhaps they may have been taped. The suggestion to cancel briefings is not the first the administration has threatened to limit media access. And finally to sports, and 3 Indian women wrestlers, including Rio Olympics bronze medalist Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Phogat and Divya Kakran, settled for a silver medal each in their respective weight categories at the Asian Wrestling Championship on Friday. All the 3 Indians lost to their respective Japanese opponents. Ritu Phogat, meanwhile, bagged a bronze medal in the women's 48-kilogram category without even fighting the bout, as her opponent Sun Yayan of China opted out of the third-place playoff after sustaining an injury. Making a comeback to the international circuit after the Olympics, Sakshi Malik looked a little out of touch as she went down to the Rio Games gold medalist in the 63-kilogram category Kawai 10-0 in just 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Vinesh Phogat also settled for a silver in the women's 55-kilogram category. Divya Kakran was the 3rd Indian to have made the final in the women's 69-kilogram category and settled for a silver medal.
काफ़ी बड़ी बात है और सबसे पहले तो मैं 55 में खेली हूँ, उसमें सिल्वर मेडल लेना कहीं ना कहीं मुझे खुद में ये लग रहा है कि मैं 48 में कहीं ना कहीं बहुत ऊपर हूँ अभी, क्योंकि एशियन रेसलिंग में वुमेन्स में बहुत अच्छी है। जब अगर आप ओलंपिक्स का रिजल्ट देखेंगे तो एशियन वुमेन्स ही सबसे ज़्यादा मेडल लेके आई और उसमें सिल्वर मेडल लेना, 55 वेट में लेना, अपने वेट से 2 वेट ऊपर जाके खेलना, तो मेरे लिए काफ़ी प्राउड की बात है कि मैं इंजरी के बाद कहीं ना कहीं मैं पोडियम पे फिनिश कर पाई हूँ। जो मेरी मेहनत थी वो आज रंग लेके आई है। तैयारियां हमने अपनी तरफ से अच्छी की थी, बाकी ओलंपिक के बाद बहुत ज़्यादा गैप हो गया था इंटरनेशनल कंपटीशन के लिए, तो बस कंपटीशन से दूर थी, इसका थोड़ा इफेक्ट हुआ है। बाकी अभी मैंने और अच्छी तैयारियां शुरू कर दी हैं और वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में हम और अच्छा करने की कोशिश करेंगे।
And that's all we have for you on the Breakfast News. Thank you for joining us.